can't mentor a surgeon, but I can coach the World Bank president. It is the skill of asking the right questions, allowing and inviting the right thought processes, inviting them to travel into rooms which skeletal cobwebs and the wardrobes are scary. That's what I bring to the fore.
Turn around. Turning point. Yeah. He's a turnaround. Hello and welcome to Springboard, your virtual university. My name is Albert Okran. Welcome you to Ghana's foremost developmental program, and that place where the greatest minds in the world converge. Springboard is brought to you by the Springboard Roadshow Foundation in partnership with MTN Ghana, the Enterprise Group, and the Ghana Growth Program, a collaboration between Mastercard Foundation and Springboard. Our media partners, Joy 99.7 FM, Joy News Television, the Springboard channel on YouTube, and the graphic group of newspapers. Today we talk about the personal developmental journey, a journey everyone is traveling, whether you are aware or not. You actually are either going forward, going backwards, or probably even standing still. Let me quote Abraham Maslow, the great. And he says, one can choose to go back towards safety, sounds like Nkrumah, or forward towards growth. Growth must be chosen again and again, and fear must be overcome again and again. A right note on which to start this conversation. And my guest for today will do justice to this subject because she is in the business of growing people. She calls herself a growth enabler. I love the title. I think I should borrow it. A growth enabler and managing partner of 565. Maame Ekua Gaisey. Maame, good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thank you so much for having me, Rev.
This is your first time on the virtual university.
Yes, it is, but I've been a student of the university for decades.
So you transitioned to become a faculty now. That is good to see you. Family is good?
Yes, everybody is very well. Thanks for asking.
It's a blessing.
Yes, it's grace.
Let's start with the quote by Maslow. Do you think that people are generally afraid of growth, progress, stepping out of what they are familiar with?
Afraid is an understatement. Anything that takes anybody out of where they could be, which is a natural tendency of just being, is fearful for a lot of people. Yes, you have people who might say they're adventurous, but when it comes to growth, when we talk about growth, which is moving from a state of being into a new, which is supposed to be better, more grander, if there's an expression like that, it really can be fearful for a lot of people. Why is growth fearful? You become somebody that even the people you thought knew you cannot recognize. So when Abraham says people are afraid, I totally agree with him. What I'm not too sure about is whether he also says that people have the desire.
Well, he says growth must be a choice again and again. And that's what I want to continue with. I like the word choice because it just means that some people will not want to grow and some people will never grow. But he says growth must be chosen again and again. And the words again and again means that you will not make the choice only once.
No.
What do you think about that?
It's a daily affair, really. Even in our space where we find people more towards the growth orientation, you find people get to a place. Only last 2 weeks or so, I was chatting with some coach sisters, and they were laughing that they were talking about me. And one of the things they spoke about is, Maame is on this passion thing and she's so sold out. As for us right now, really, we just want to coast. So that choice that I chose yesterday to be who I am today, and I need to choose today who I want to be tomorrow. When I say daily, Rev, it's actually very literal, daily. So he's completely right. You chose to be somebody 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Are you that person today? No. Because you got to that point and you needed to then progress over and over again. Now, why it's a choice is because the work it takes to transition from one state to the other, it's scary. And not everybody wants it. You are chartering unfamiliar terrains. You're dealing with your own fears. You're dealing with the fears that are foisted on you by others around you. You're dealing with a lot of the times resources. So choosing to say, yeah, I still want to be irrespective of resource lack. I still want to be irrespective of the fact that I'm no longer fitting into the space my friends would love me to be, is daily. And within the day, within hours in the day, you will be making those choices.
I read somewhere that the average person makes about 35,000 choices a day.
A day, yes.
And 5 of them are significant, but as many as 35,000. It kind of makes you think, I hope the balance sheet looks good.
and sometimes we are a bit too hard on ourselves about the decisions that really don't matter.
Here, there are 5 that are consequential.
That's it.
Let's talk about how the journey starts. I guess when the rubber hits the road, we'll begin to decipher which ones are the priority decisions.
Yes.
When a person wants to embark on a journey of transformation or personal development, where does it begin?
Awareness. I must have been 16 years when, I don't know where I got it from. I must have read it from somewhere, but my mindset was that the best gift anybody could give themselves is to discover themselves. I just thought that's the best gift you could give to yourself. Now, discovering yourself takes time. It can sometimes lead to inaction, and we don't like it. We like to be on the move. So it's awareness. You need to be aware of what and who you want to be before you start the journey. Once you are aware, the next step will be to be honest that I am very, very far from where I want to be. I am very, very close to where I want to be. So maybe this is not ambitious enough. So first is awareness of who you are today and who you would like to be. Then you begin the journey of what do I need to do? This is where the choices come in. I choose to do this even though it is uncomfortable. So let's take my life as an example. Growing up, grandma, and everybody thought, Mommy is going to be a medical doctor. You know, it sounded great because you know how they just scope the class and whoever is in the top 5 is automatically a medical doctor or an engineer. Usually engineers are not flagged with the women. So as a girl, you're a medical doctor. You get to a place where you actually are embodying that, even as a young child. So you go to the hospital and you see yourself in the doctor that's taking care of you. And that was me. I would stay in the consulting room and chat with the medical doctors. They will open books. I'll ask questions and they'll open the medical books and they will teach me. So for me, it was a done deal. So you get to a place where you find that there's something else within you. Now you're fortunate if you have some adults around you that can see that something that can actually push you to begin to think about it. Mine was in secondary school when my literature teacher because when I have to work math, I was reading it. I was reading physics. You need to work it. And he just figured that I had a thing for languages and I was in a science class. And he goes to his literature classes and he felt that I could do a lot better than them. Well, I went through. And when you're good in the subject, then it doesn't come off as a flag because you're good. So academically, you're progressing. But when I finished secondary school, I needed to have that conversation with myself.
Went ahead in this science.
I had to have a conversation with myself that this is not the path to go. Making that choice at that point in my life was tough, but I had to. Fortunately, I grew up in a home where we're allowed to make choices. For instance, my kid sister says, I want to do fashion, and she's sewing for dolls as a baby. My dad says, go. She gets support. She's a fashion designer. That's what she's done all her life. So when I got to the place where I knew I needed to look the other way from science, I had to make that choice. And it meant going back to do another secondary education within a shorter period. Yeah. I did. I had to write a second SSE for
Wow.
arts electives. Yeah.
You've mentioned awareness. You've mentioned
Honesty.
honesty. You've mentioned some adults
Work.
in your life. You've
Yes.
mentioned decisions. And you've
Yes.
mentioned a conversation with yourself. Let me take a step back and introduce another element, the element of dissatisfaction. And as a trigger for change, one of my favorite scriptures, 2 Kings chapter 6, verse 1. The Bible says the sons of the prophets went to Elisha and said, Chief, the place where we dwell with you is too small.
We know like how.
Yeah, we don't like actually. How? I mean, it's telling not one bedroom, not one small space.
No.
We can do more with our lives. How important are those? You call them conversations with yourself, but how important is dissatisfaction as a trigger for transformation?
Because it causes discomfort. And discomfort is a major trigger for change, for progress, you need to be uncomfortable. Have you been in a space where, even at work, I mean, you walk around the team and you say, you're too comfortable. I think you can do more. And they're like, I'm okay. So comfort is...
That's my wife's name. Please continue.
But she is the opposite of the context of this comfort.
Oh my goodness.
She is not comfortable with. She's never been comfortable with where she is. She's been a growth mantra person. So that comfort of I'm okay is where you miss the opportunity to move. So for me, that the satisfaction should be a major element. For some people, the dissatisfaction is not even with self. It is with responsibility. For some people, the dissatisfaction is actually told to them that you cannot be, and they move. But the biggest and the greatest is when you find it within. And you tell yourself, no, I don't like this. I don't want this.
That's what the prophets did.
Exactly. I don't want this. And that's your biggest engine.
As a coach, do you sometimes meet people that you are dissatisfied with where they are, and they just
so many.
And they wonder, talk about it. I'm here. I'm okay.
I'm okay. And especially if really they're doing okay by the standard society set for that class, they are okay.
How do you deal with where you see so much and the person just doesn't see it and is wondering why you are so frenetic?
So fortunately, as a coach, the coaching relationship should actually start when the person wants something. It's different when I want to mentor somebody or somebody comes for mentorship. That one is easier to tell. But the coach is a conversation. I'm asking questions. So already I was speaking with some people of high authority, state institution last week, and a very accomplished, astute statesperson, a lady, walks to me and says, Maame, I need a personal coach. I'm like, okay. And I think I want you to be. Now, I've worked under this lady before. So I looked at her and I said, I'll let my partner, Catherine, she's my business partner, I'll let Catherine coach you because that personal relationship can also get in the way. But for her to be at that place she is, by the virtue of our standards in society, she should be fine. To say I need a personal coach is what I'm talking about. That dissatisfaction of, I think I could do better, I could be more, is what we need. So when you talk about dissatisfaction, I talk about, are you comfortable? If you're comfortable, very likely you're not going to be making any growth moves. But if you are uncomfortable, you're dissatisfied, you're going to be asking, what else? So when I come into contact with people in coaching relationships who I see could do so much more, I ask the questions that can get them to dig deeper, to look, I could be focused here and you'll be chatting with me and I'm looking here. I'm not picking your body language. I can see the nods you're giving me. That's like approval. If you squinted your eyes, you'll be asking me a question that's not coming through. I can't see it because I'm so focused here. But if I look up, then I'm beginning to see, okay, is his body shifting? What's he saying with his eyes? What are the nods? So that's what I reflect for these people. So I sit and they're like, oh, I've done so well, Maame. I mean, at my age, I've got this, that. And then I'm like, Why? Don't you think it's enough? Like, I didn't say that. What do you think? Where do you see yourself? What about this? Have you thought of this? Have you ever felt uncomfortable before? Have people come to you and said things that made you think, I could do more? So those questions will then get the person to begin to wonder, there could be more.
Rudyard Kipling, in his famous Six Honest Men poem, wrote about 6 questions that teach a person everything you ought to know: what, who, where, which, why, and how.
And how?
And he says there are 6 honest men. Using your word honesty once again, let's talk about the role of questions in the self-evaluation journey, which is obviously the foundation for any transformation.
Yeah.
Questions, questions, and then questions.
One key item on my personal profile is curiosity. And unfortunately, we kill it in our society. When we are growing up, we're hushed because that's a sign of respect. That's a sign of modesty. The very curious children are too much. Parents don't want to be in a space where their children walk to the stranger and ask, "Hi, uncle, what's your name?" Oh my God, I'm sorry. And we apologize for children being what we are meant to be. Who are you?
I think the children in my church are more of my friends than their parents, because they jump at me. They don't even care what I'm wearing. They come running, "Pastor, how bad?" They start asking, and the parents are like, "Charlie, that's the senior pastor, please."
And the parents are, I'm sorry.
Did they even care?
They don't. By the time they turn 18, I would like to have a conversation about them again. And you see how we've moderated them, how we've literally
socialized them to behave themselves.
So questions. Who are you? I don't know how many of us ask that, but who are you? Who did God create you to be? Who are you meant to be to the rest of the world? Start from the immediate surrounding, which is your family, to your colleagues. Who are you? Who are you? What were you brought onto earth to do? So when you're beginning to feel out of place, you're probably forcing your roundness into a square box.
That would be a question of purpose.
Yes. So who are you? What were you brought here to do? Why do you have to do that? The why question we don't ask a lot in coaching, but it's a personal reflective question. If you ask why 5 times on any problem, science, engineering will tell you that you're getting to the root cause.
So why don't we ask why enough?
Because it feels uncomfortable again. It pushes us to think, and we're not naturally tended to think. We like to just rush into doing.
Why?
Because it's comfortable. It takes less. We work with the flow. It's more accepting in the society. It can be one of the spaces where you feel you're good. Just do. So we don't ask enough whys.
Let's go on to effectiveness. Sometimes you talk about doing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you actually are doing.
Yeah.
And doing so many things. But again, let me go back to the scriptures. In Deuteronomy chapter 2, verse 2 and 3, the Bible says you've gone round this mountain long enough, turn northwards. What I pick from that is that you can actually be very active, but you are going round and round and round the same mountain.
It's actually 90% of the time for 90% of the people.
But why?
Earlier this year, no, last year actually, Q4 last year, usually you strategize. So I was doing my personal strategies, that of the company. And I always set a theme. My background is in ICGC, so, having a theme each year.
Very important.
Very. So, right from university, it's been that. And for me, I said a theme, I said a song. I have a theme song for every year. It's Sinasha's Oh my God, the song is in my head, is not coming,
know,
but
right?
yes.
Before we end the show, you must
Yes,
remember
I
it.
will remember
And I'll
it.
give you the reggae version.
Exactly, please do. So I asked what I wanted out of this year. And the Holy Spirit actually gave me a response upon reflection. Focus. So my theme for this year, be present, stay focused. Because we are all very, very tempted to do a lot. The volumes are not where the issues are, it's the value.
Volume
It's the
versus value.
value. It's the value.
Your
A
choice of
salesperson will
team.
tell you. Yeah.
Your choice of team. Would it be something that is very personal, based on your person, based on the time in your life, based on the peculiar circumstances of your life? I'm saying that because if somebody's listening, you say, Maame Ekua Gaisey is my role model. So if she says focus, me too, my team is focus. But I'm just asking if that choice of team is based on certain circumstances, and therefore you can't just pick somebody's agenda and start running
with it. No, you can't do that. And it's also from where I'm coming from, right? When you're blessed with the spirit and the sensitivity to be able to have a lot of balls juggling, you can be drawn into it. So being a person who is always cued into a lot of ideas, if you're not careful, you won't land anything. If you spoke with my friends, they'll tell you that Maame can give you. So one of the things I do with my coaching clients is business ideation, where I just see people with capacities. They've never thought of a certain business, and I can look at them and we will curate that. I don't want to be part of it. It will be yours. Now, because of all the many balls that are juggling, I need to stay focused to land something. So for me, it was a lot of things on my table. I want something substantive out of this year. What must I do? It was also based on my environment. Rev, we go to a restaurant and just sit and look at the people in the restaurant. I worry. We can't put our phones down to have conversations. We can't drive, do a full drive. Like you're just driving, start from number 1, Lagos Avenue to American House. Just drive with nobody. Just drive. Look, stay in traffic. Just be in the traffic. Don't be in a hurry to take a detour. We can't do that anymore.
Why?
Because activity feels attractive. It feels purposeful. It feels winning. I'm doing this and that and that. The Gen Zs are in the gig economy, so the more things you're able to juggle, people are making individuals feel insufficient by not doing too many things.
Talking about that, I was in the leadership program that recommended, among other things, going to a monastery for 3 days. Now, being in the monastery means you don't talk to anyone, you don't have a phone, you don't chat,
no TV, no media.
You just quietly reflect. And I recall the facilitator saying that most people would not last the first 30 minutes of the program, but you're doing that too.
Detox.
I like the word you use, detox. You think that we sometimes jam too many things into ourselves?
It's not sometimes, a lot of the times right now. Look, a lot of my coaches in the West now, that's a big investment. So I like that you're bringing it up. I mean, and these people are not even necessarily people of faith. They are not necessarily spiritual, but they've come to a place where they've seen that you need to. Catherine does well for about 5 years now. Every year, there are 2 weeks between the end of the year and the beginning of the new year. She's in England. You can't reach her. Nobody has died out of that. She hasn't lost any business out of that. We pride ourselves with the fact that people need us, and if they are not able to reach us, then something is going to happen. It's actually not true. It's not true. So I like this leadership thing that it's a big thing now. So again, some people are cashing out of it. But it's necessary that we find time. One of the things that I spoke about on the theme I just discussed is when we wake up in the morning, spend 5 minutes, stay in your bed, just breathing, doing nothing. Rev, it's easier for me to sit on this show to talk about it, the doing, even for me. Hey, because you're sleeping at 1 a.m. You have to wake up at 5. There's a rush out. There are some human beings whose breakfast depend on you. You have to do your quiet time. Do you know what I realized? That 5 minutes gave me a better instinct in the word when I did my quiet time than before, because I came a bit more emptier than I usually would have. We don't quiet ourselves enough. So our fears are screaming at us. Our needs are screaming at us because they're real. We're real human beings. We need money. We need a job to work. We need business. The children have to be well. Real life issues. This is not because you want them, but they're real. But sometimes you need to consciously decide to just stay off, be.
Is that what David talked about when he talked about still waters?
Stillness.
And then restoring my soul.
Stillness is such a powerful tool. And Rev, don't think I'm there. I'm a student of the process.
Yes, but it's okay. It's okay. We didn't invite a perfectionist or somebody who has arrived. We invited someone who is engaged with people to tell us your observations, your learnings, and your own journey. So it's fine.
It's difficult.
It's fine that you have not arrived. Neither have I. And it's fine that our listeners too have not arrived. But we must have this conversation, and we will have it.
Yes.
So if you're looking for somebody who has got it all figured out, please tune into another show. It's just 2 students of life asking the questions we ought to be asking ourselves, and that is why we are here.
And sharing our learnings as we have gone along.
And so you're saying that the whole journey of personal transformation must start with awareness.
Yes.
And that awareness would have some honest questions that you must ask. When you open that box and start asking the questions, expect to be very uncomfortable.
Very.
And you say the question about why is the one you should watch is a dangerous question.
Very, because it goes down into the very nitty-gritty.
When you ask 5 times the why, you are close to finding the root.
Yes.
If somebody is listening today and you are asking yourself, what exactly is happening here? My guest, Maame Ekua Gaisey, is helping us. She's a coach. So she's helping us to unpack how to have a personal developmental journey. We call it a journey because you never get there. You keep doing it. And she says, every single day you must make a choice. And even within the day, you must make several choices, determined choices that will get you closer to who you must become. And she says the fear is real. But beyond that fear is an opportunity that we want to explore when I come back from this break. This is Springboard, your virtual university, dedicated to all those who are trying to move your lives forward using a systematic process of engaging yourself and asking those very tough questions that will scare you, but which will lift you up. When I come back from the break, we'll talk about the mechanism. When you get on the road, what should you do? What should you not do? Who will you need? And as we drive on the Autobahn, the German highway, we'll find out the pit stops where you must stop and ask yourself, is this the right route in the first place? And I hope that these questions will help you to position yourself for advantage, especially as you navigate the second half of this year. Please don't go away.
Going to the library. Going to the library.
Okay. I'm going for my graduation. Go well.
Education changes stories, and being part of these stories is the real passion for us. MTN.
No stress. Submit your insurance claim online in just seconds on the Claims Express portal. Simply upload your national ID, cost estimates, pictures, and more to get started. Submit online, track progress, and get paid fast. Skip the paperwork and get back on the road with ease. Visit claimexpress.enterprisegroup.net.gh for easy claims and quick payouts with absolutely no stress.
Enterprise, your advantage.
Welcome back to Springboard, your virtual university, and to this enthralling conversation about personal development, the journey that never ends. And my guest, Maame Ekua Gaisey, a coach, is helping us to understand some of the uncomfortable moments that really are the prelude to a much better life. She's talking about choices, she's talking about fear. She's spoken about the question why and how it can lead you into a deeper understanding of where you are and even how to get to where you want to be. This is brought to you by the Springboard Roadshow Foundation in partnership with Enterprise Group, MTN Ghana, and the Ghana Growth Program, itself a collaboration between Mastercard Foundation and Springboard. We are supported in the media by Joy 99.7 FM, Joy News Television, the Springboard channel on YouTube, and of course, a graphic group of newspapers where we transcribe some of the thoughts we share here for the benefit of those who read well and prefer to read than to listen. Mami,
Yes, sir.
let's talk about the planning process. So you ask yourself a few questions and you say, you know what, I can do much more.
Yes.
I can be better.
Mm-hmm.
I owe it to myself, to my parents who invested in my education to give a better account.
Even if they didn't,
ROI, yeah.
to yourself.
I just think I just can be more.
Yeah.
Society deserves a better version of Albert Okran. I mean, whichever the trigger is, you are at the point where you see the space
I gotta
where
do
I
something.
is too small for me.
Mm-hmm.
My first question, where are the areas of change? Because very often when you talk about personal development, everyone is thinking more cash, promotion at work. Where are the areas where we should focus in our journey of development?
My focus first would be the who you need to be. A lot of times we talk about the what. So if it were a career, then what position rather than who you need to be. Because when you are working on the who inside, the what's come. So first, you want to set some goals of who you want to be. I want to be a more learning person. I want to be a more present person. I want to be a kinder person. I want to be a more curious person. So you're not lapping at anything that's flying on social media as the gospel. I want to be a more optimistic person, to see the good in things and situations and people than the negatives. So who do you want to be? When you said that who, I would look into setting some personal values. Very difficult. When you talk about values, oh yes, every company has values. You go, they framed it nicely. What are your personal values? And it's basically what's important to you. And that, together with the who you want to be, now will set you off to what you have to do. The what you have to do is now going to go into the goal setting. And when you get to that point, you'll have a long list of things. The key to real personal development and growth will be when you have this long list and you're able to begin to eliminate, to take out the clutter. Because some of them are really nice to have. Some of them are cliches. Some of them are because of where you want to find yourself. But what are the real grains that are required? So get to that. So eliminate the chaff and get to maximum 3. I say for every year, if you're focusing on more than 3 things, the likelihood you're going to achieve any of them is close to 10%.
Why?
Because the mind, our spirit, and focus will tell you that you can't do more than 3 things within a period. Now, this is why. If you woke up and you were to begin to look into your day, and you already started thinking of, oh, I want to have breakfast. Oh, but I want to have breakfast at a certain place. Oh, but I want to have breakfast at a certain place with somebody. Or I want to have breakfast at a certain place with somebody and under a certain circumstance. That's already a lot of things you are pulling together. The likelihood, Rev, that you are going to be discouraged that this is not going to happen is very high. As opposed to, this morning I want to have breakfast. Which breakfast do I want to have? I'm going to have cocoa and kose. They go. And that's why some people tell you that sometimes when we make the choices of life in very simple ways, we save ourselves the stress. We can save ourselves the stress. So focus on 3 things, maximum. So first, you've asked who you want to be. Second, you've set your values. Third, you are now telling, what do I need to do to be that? Set 3 goals.
So I read this book by Al Rice and Jack Trout several years ago, and the book is called Focus.
Yes.
The future of your company depends on it.
Mm.
And it brought into focus, pun intended, the dance between specialists and generalists. And why some people believe that the most successful people and companies by extension are those who specialize brutally on something. And then the contrary view that says, in this very, what word would I use? Disruptive world, the specialists could find themselves on the wrong end of the stick with AI and the way the world is changing. And so generalists are better off. And both sides argue so intensely that no one actually wins. So I leave it to agreeing to disagree. So in that regard, let me ask you which side you belong to.
Rev, as an HR person, I can assure you, maybe 10 years ago, I would be the advocate for specialization. Now, I call it multiple specializations. At every point in time, there has to be a focus. But that focus has to have the ability to transition into another focus. So it's still specialization for me with times. Understanding of the nuances of the times, understanding of agility, understanding of the market, because you're not by yourself as an island.
Shame on you. Shame on you. Well, in trying to resolve this issue, even in trying to resolve this issue, it is too hard-nosed people coming to a compromise. So the believers in specialization say they are now specialized generalists.
Yes.
And then those who believe in generalization say they are generalized specialists. But it's just beautiful.
But yes.
I personally think that we don't give the ancient Greek philosophers enough credit. They used to sit around and debate ideas like this. Yeah. And they were happy to disagree, but to actually delve into the whys of the way we think. Yeah. And why I believe this, and you also see why you believe this. Yes. And then we argue it out and break it down.
And they used to learn. It led to discoveries. And a lot of our modern sayings and quotes are drawn from those conversations.
And I respect them because they are as relevant now as they were when
centuries ago.
How could they be so wise so several years ago? I mean, serious stuff.
So it should also tell you that wisdom in itself is not time-bound.
It's timeless.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're on the learning journey. You've unpacked the questions about who you are, and you've worked your way through to now what to do.
What to do.
Even from the questions about who, you ended up spanning spiritual, emotional. Yeah. You touched on the mental or academic. Yeah. You touched also on social. Yes. More present, more relational. Yes. I'm sure that somewhere in there will be fitness.
Yes, wellness.
Yeah. So essentially,
And financial, very
And very
important.
important. Money will definitely answer some very, very important questions.
Very.
Yeah, is it locked? Don't pay bills.
No.
You need to pay.
Passion, no, they buy fuel.
A friend of mine says, Charlie Albert, I went to speak for these young people at Valley View, and I got to Adenta, and my fuel showed red, and I realized that, Charlie, while I've poured my life into them, I've also poured my fuel onto the road.
Onto the road,
Now,
yeah.
how do I get home? I say,
Yeah.
The bills,
Realities,
the bills must be paid.
Yeah.
The bills must be paid.
Real.
Now, when you get a sense of direction,
Yeah.
what are the enablers that you will need to finish? Because starting, I'm sure, is not enough.
No. Continuing is where the work is. So for me, it will be the enablers in terms of the people, the environment. There are things and places you actually need to make a choice to cut them out. There are expenditure you need to cut out. The first thing I will ask for is who is enabling. You know, when we talk about coaching, people begin to think real. So let's just say we are calling this person your supporter. Who is in your space that is supporting you? Who is this individual? Who are these individuals that are enabling the journey, that are present and speaking with you? Because if you don't get that, you tend to be the judge in your own court. You're prosecuting, you're defending, you're judging. It can be a bit much. And we see a lot of people with a lot of potential who struggle, take longer to get to the desired destination, because there are so many destinations in the journey. If they had that, it would be easier. So find you a coach, not necessarily like all of that, but somebody that you're talking to. In some instances, you actually do need a mentor, and both of them have their peculiar places. So a mentor is this person who has traveled the journey or close to the journey you are on and can actually show you a few tricks. You know, Maame, I've got people that will tell me, we don't do it like that. If you do it like that, it will take forever. That's a mentor telling, showing you. But a coach is going to ask you questions, deeper questions, to make you uncomfortable, to let you dig deeper, because there's so much potential. So the digging has to happen, because we can actually get very comfortable very quickly, depending on the goal we set, and to realize that actually, no, that's just a first level. If it were a 10-step, you would realize when you begin to speak with a coach that you're probably just at the base. You're about to step on the first and the second. So get you a coach. Now, what the elimination has done for you is it has allowed you to decide what you don't want to invest in. If you took it at a business level, when we do strategy, a lot of the conversations we have at strategy is what we are going to do. But we don't talk a lot about what we don't want to do. As an individual, you've agreed this is what you're going to do. What won't you do?
Why is that important?
It's important because then when you're derailing, you know. It's important because then when you are going off track, you actually will sense it. And we are spiritual beings. So there'll be tags at you. You feel there's a tag in your heart when you want to go into a certain agreement. You feel this collaboration, yes, this collaboration everybody's talking about, but this particular collaboration feels a bit too uncomfortable. You will feel it because this is not what you want to do or you have chosen not to. So even with values, when you are defining your values, you want to be accountable. What does that mean? Does accountability mean you tell everybody everything you're doing so that they can hold you? No. Define what it is and what it's not. So tell yourself what you're not going to do on this journey. I want to be transparent, but there are things that I will not do. I won't just talk to anybody about my business. It's not everybody that I want in my business. When I say business, not commerce, business as in my life. Because we sometimes allow a lot of noise into our space and it confuses us. So get a coach, clarify, what am I going to do? What am I not going to do? The what am I not going to do will also prevent you from going with the flow. Everybody is selling gobe. So make I sell some because the boys, they want chop gobe. Is that what you really want to do?
And there's something about the nuances of something that you made. I mean, so there's this pharmacy that used to be in a very prime location in Accra.
Mm.
Everybody stopped there. Everybody did. And then what the critical success factor was the side of the road that the pharmacy is on when you close from work. Now, if you set up a pharmacy opposite that pharmacy, you won't get the same results. And you wonder, the same area, they say it is this area, they buy. What you don't understand is that the person going to work
is
so focused on beating the traffic, getting to work, that they don't think of stopping for anything. Same as fuel station.
Yes.
You can have fuel stations opposite each other. One is selling, the other one is not selling. And you say he has done some medicine.
Ghana.
Nothing.
Ghana, we did.
Nothing.
Everything is something.
The person going to the office may not buy fuel as much as the person coming from.
Or the other way.
Or the other way. So the supermarket.
Yes.
The pharmacy.
Yes. Fuel.
The fuel station.
Even food. Bread.
The food joint.
Yes.
So there are things you will not understand how it works. But in the dynamic of it all, you're saying that don't go with the flow because somebody is selling something. Let me explore two things. When you talk about needing a coach, I'll stay with the coach because you want to stone that. Say you do. So let's talk about coaching. I realize that two of the things that bother people the most. One is that the coach may not necessarily be in the field that you are in. So you say, how can this person who hasn't done banking before coach me in my banking career? And the second thing is that when you ask questions, and the same applies to strategy consultants. You see, now question when we decide, like, it sounds too intangible for the person that doesn't see value when they don't see a lot of physical things being transmitted. Help us to appreciate the value.
I'll do two things. And I like this because just last week we were training some directors coaching. We're talking about the same thing. An exact question came up. And I said to them,
I operate this. So I know the resistance that comes with.
And I said to somebody, I've never studied medicine, even though it was my aspiration. I've never studied medicine, but I can coach a surgeon to be a more successful surgeon than he would if he didn't have me in his life. And that delineation between my role as a coach and a mentor, we need to understand. I cannot be a mentor to somebody who wants to improve their surgery skills. Maybe if the person wants to improve another part of their lives, I could mentor there. But I can't mentor a surgeon. But I can coach the World Bank president. It is the skill of asking the right questions, allowing and inviting the right thought processes, inviting them to travel into rooms which skeletal cobwebs and the wardrobes are scary. That's what I bring to the fore. Asking those intangible questions are supposed to happen to get you to think. Because we come from a place that all the goodness is already in you. You have the answers. God has deposited enough in you. You just need somebody to help with unlocking that potential. And that's the rule. So in strategy, when I come, I haven't built a water factory before, but I should be able to lead this entrepreneur that wants to do this, to strategize market-wise, investment-wise, talent-wise, to be able to build a very successful factory.
Let's talk about respect for the intangible. When I was young, when you talk about hard work, you have to do this. Clench your fist. That is the picture of hard work.
Yeah.
So why would they put value on somebody who talks for a living or who asks questions and finishes and then just create a small framework and says, done. And you're like,
an invoice, big invoice. And the number looks like, I could have bought 2 machines with that money, you know?
Especially when somebody is not sitting in the room. The person sitting in the room is still reflecting and saying, I can't believe this. How do you explain that value to the person who was not in the room?
One of my colleagues, who is like a brother now, says he sent an invoice after strategy support to the business. The lady comes and says, I don't know why I'm paying you so much. He said, but you understand why you can't do without me, right? Yeah. The value of intangibles, Rev, the harder part of the hard work is thinking.
That's why the MD gets paid more than.
That's it. It's the thinking.
Let's go on to resilience.
Yeah.
You leave the room,
Yeah.
the coach, the strategy session, the
Yeah.
monastery,
Yeah.
the time of reflection,
Yeah.
or
Fair.
Catherine in London. You come back, and then within the first 2 weeks,
Massa.
something hits you on the head.
Massa.
Let's talk about the realities of life.
Realities.
And then sometimes I see the problem is you went to a rehearsal.
Because when they are coming, they're telling, I'm almost done. Prepare to come.
Yeah, synchronized swimming.
Yeah.
You just follow each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me, how do you navigate that?
You will fall. It's real. You will slip. That's very practical. The resilience for me is not the ability not to fall off, not to renege, not to feel discouraged. It is the ability to come back when you have fallen. And we tend to trust our inner strength. Yes, definitely. Some people have it better than others, so trust it. But I'm telling you, when you've got somebody telling you, Mame, I think what you're doing is actually the right thing, because we will question ourselves. Just about a few weeks ago, we built, with a PA conference, we've instituted the Africa Institute for Personal and Executive Assistance. So we are looking into certifications globally. And, my market is asking, where's your affiliation? So I start looking all over. One of my brothers called me and said, girl, what you're doing is very distinct and different. Be careful not to go under something that does not speak to the vision. Do it. God, I was like, me, I want to have it. He said, no. Be that standard that others will come and be affiliated with. Look, that day was like, oh my God. That's all I
Intangible,
needed. Because
5 minutes, life
I had spent too much resources. The whole team is looking for. So I called another sister and I said, this is what Ben said. Oh, God bless the pillow he slept on last night. Because I've been trying to tell you that you're not hearing me. So even in the people in your space, they have to be multiple, because one person has been telling you, you're not catching it. It's the language the other would use that would do it.
And the position that other person
stands in. He's done institution work for so long. And Rev, if we are spiritual, and I'm not even talking about be a Kabashin and Kadoshin Christian, but if we are spiritual, we are in tune with the Holy Spirit. He has ways of bringing us to the places of need. Because that call was so not regular, but it happened at the time I needed it. And it has changed from last 2 weeks where my light.
and it's the power of the moment.
Yes.
Let me talk about moments.
Yeah.
I can remember several moments in my life where something shifted. And they were not always very dramatic.
Mm-mm.
They were not always it wasn't like some very powerful, thus says the Lord. Sometimes the person who God used did not even know they had been used. And God. You tell them later and they're like, you know what, I don't remember. And that upsets you, because you say this was a life-changing moment in my life, and you say you don't remember how. It was very big for me. But I'm now concerned even about the me, not the other person who did what they normally do. How important is it to recognize moments?
Presence. We're not
You
present.
called it present.
Yeah.
How important is it?
I mean, to recognize the moment is to be present. Because we have a lot coming up. You're watching YouTube, how to do, no. So when people are speaking, we barely pay attention. We sit in church, sermon is happening, but we have 14 things rolling. I have to respond to this person's WhatsApp. I need to go and check on that TikTok video. Oh, I have to watch that YouTube video so I can do the meal for the family. We are presence. So we miss the moments. Presence.
Would you agree that there are sometimes seconds where somebody says something, or even you listen back to a message that you were there, you heard it, you're like, did he say that?
Did he say that?
Because that is it.
Rev, even that is a bit more distant. But let me shock you. You will have a conversation with somebody in the office. Between your office and that office and your office, you get to your office and it literally lights up again. And it's not dramatic. The person is not the biggest deal. Or you sit in your car and you remember you saw something.
Yeah.
It's not always even the thing. Did I see? Oh, wow. Okay.
A billboard.
Yes.
An advert.
A car.
A picture. A flyer.
Somebody.
A color.
Coffee Brookman seller. A hawker. I remember one day when my cousin and I sat and we were arguing about health. And I remember asking him, if we say walking and, being active helps, why do hawkers on the street have pot bellies? Why do the girls have big bellies? He said, you can't work. He says, you can't exercise your way out of bad diet.
You know what?
Because they're eating so much carbs. It doesn't matter how many steps they take. Your watch is telling you you've done 12,000, but Charlie, the input is not right.
The beautiful thing about this conversation is that we have done freelancing. But I've loved it. I've loved it because it's allowed us to behave like my friends, the ancient Greek philosophers. I actually did philosophy in first year university.
Check you out.
I walked out of the law class and went to do philosophy.
That's why.
And it's one of my best decisions. I chose economics, and I said, if I'm doing economics, I have no place in the law class. After a few cases, I said, you know what, I'm done.
Let me. No, but it's thinking is difficult.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love philosophy.
Beautiful.
So in this past hour, we've done a lot of reflection, a bit of philosophy, without using all the terminologies.
Yeah.
As we sign off, we are back to where we began. Yeah. Can a person, by the choices they make, move themselves from where they are to where they ought to be? Do me a favor, look into this camera and speak to that person who has been very busy, but probably going round and round Monsieur, like the Deuteronomy 2 verse 2 and 3 people that you mentioned, and give them some guidance for their journey.
Good. So you're watching us, or you've been on this journey, and you're wondering what you're not getting. Focus and stay present. Declutter 3 things maximum and just give them your all. That's all I'll ask of you. Focus. Maximum 3 things. Give those 3 things your all. And let's meet in December and ask how you're doing. Thank you.
Even the summary is focused. and she belongs to the specialist journalists. And I belong to the generalist specialist. But at least there's some point of convergence. And her name is Maame Ekua Gaisey. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for
sharing this hour with
us.
me. You must make me a promise that you will come again.
We will.
And promise that
me and myself will.
Charlie, represent Biom.
Yes.
And when you come, let's have so much fun again.
We will.
But I think we need to have more such conversations where we just ask questions. Even if you don't answer them, just ask.
Yeah.
So people can reflect. And as they reflect, see that there's much more beyond where they are.
I agree. Thank you.
This has been a philosophic edition of Springboard, your virtual university with my friend Maame Ekua Gaisey, helping us to think through our lives, ask those questions that we sometimes don't want to ask, and just probing into those parts of ourselves that we think are very comfortable but which require a bit more of refinement and a bit more of questions. And hopefully, this hour has given you something to chew on. If it's only one thing, it's more than enough. You don't need more than one. One thing from this conversation could be the game changer if you were present and not just listening. This has been brought to you by Springboard Ratio Foundation in partnership with Enterprise Group, MTN Ghana, and the Ghana Growth Program, a collaboration between Mastercard Foundation and Springboard. Our media partners, as always, Joy 99.7 FM, Joy News Television, the Graphic Group of Newspapers, and the Springboard channel on YouTube. My name, as always, Albert Okran, saying God bless you, and God bless you.